welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well, at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. What's going on, Ram fans? Episode 565 of Rams Up. Going to get through a variety of things this episode. Hey, I wanted to announce we have finally done it on the YouTube channel. 1,000 subscribers. Really excited about that. Thank you all who have subscribed already. And if you haven't, please jump on there, youtube.com/@LARamsUp. And big shout out to Ian Martinez and Paul Wallia for helping me make it happen. Before we get to our content here, episode 565, it was either 100 or maybe 200 episodes ago that I talked about a Ram who wore number 65, one of the greatest Rams ever, Hall of Famer Tom Mack. And I stumbled across the fact that Harlan Savar wore number 65 for our Rams in his rookie season, played his college ball at Washington State, joined the Rams as a linebacker in 1953, wore that number for just the one season. He was more famous as a coach. He was the Rams head coach from midway during the 1962 season through the end of the 1965 season and ended up coaching the Chargers from 71 through 73 and was their general manager through 1976. Harlan Savar, number 65 for our Los Angeles Rams for that one season, 1953. Get through some news and notes here. The Rams have made a move. They signed free agent linebacker Tony Fields, 6 feet, 220 pounds, played at the University of Arizona for 3 years, 1 year at West Virginia, drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 2021 fifth-round pick. For reference, that was in between the Rams' selections of tight end Jacob Harris and defensive lineman Ernest Brown. So over 3+ years with the Browns, Fields has started 10 games, suffered an ankle injury in week 1 of this season, placed on IR and now released. The NFL.com draft profile on him called him a productive linebacker with good feel for blocking schemes and knows where the running back will be, but an inconsistent tackler and maybe not an option as a third down linebacker. One AFC scout noted that Fields piles up tackle numbers, but didn't really feel like he was making an impact at Arizona or West Virginia. Still, would not be surprised if the Rams pulled him up, activated him for the Seattle game, especially if Troy Reeder can't go. Speaking of linebackers, Ernest Jones, in his first game with the Seahawks, 7 solo tackles, 8 assists for a total of 15 tackles. Not a bad day of work. And the Rams have given Trey White permission to look for a trade partner. McVay adding that it's not that the Rams are trying to get rid of him. He's welcome to stay. But if White feels like he can compete and contribute with another team, then the Rams are giving him their blessings to go look for that team and see if the Rams can work out a trade. So he may end up staying. He may end up going. Remains to be seen. Hey, I wanted to call out a minor mistake I made in my discussion with Scott Richmond the other day. I was talking about T'Vondre Sweat, and I noted that he had been drafted by the Cowboys. My bad, it was actually the Titans. And Paul Wallia noted that Sweat may not have been an option for the Rams. He may have been off their board. He was off several teams' boards due to some trouble he got himself into, but appears to be playing pretty well at the NFL level. Now, we'll get into the Rams-Seahawks game at our next roundtable with Paul and Ian, but I did want to note the spread as of a few days ago was Seahawks by 3. It is now down to 1. I thought it might swing in the Rams' favor, and maybe it eventually will, but right now, Rams +1 at Seattle. And some final thoughts on the Rams' win over the Vikings. I called out the fearsome 4 big plays of the game, and one I should have called out is that play where Stafford ducked under the would-be sack and completed the touchdown pass. That was a big, big play, obviously. Wanted to talk about some Pro Football Focus grades, and at some point I got to decide if I'm talking about Pro Football Focus grades because they are ridiculous or to call out how well or how poorly Ram players are performing. On the offensive side, not a big deal. Top-rated Rams were Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Demarcus Robinson, and Hunter Long. You'll note I didn't mention any offensive linemen. And on the defensive side, Jared Verse, Bobby Brown called out for some stop play against the run. Omar Speights, 4 tackles and tackled well. Braden Fisk, 4 pressures, and Byron Young. Not a big issue with any of those, although the Bobby Brown high grade is surprising. But get this, 3 of the 4 lowest graded Rams were offensive linemen, and I am not buying it. They looked incredible, especially in the second half. Some notable snap count numbers: Puka and Kupp barely over 50% each on the offensive side. Demarcus Robinson actually had the most of any receiver. Xavier Tutu and Tyler Johnson all got on the field, got some snaps. Hunter Long, 30 snaps. I don't have the data in front of me, but I'm guessing that's a high number for him. Christian Roseboom missed just 3 snaps. Cameron Curl missed 13 snaps after he got banged up. Omar Speights finished with 22 snaps, and Akilla Witherspoon just 9 snaps. We'll be back in a second to wrap things up with another loop around the league. Hey, I'm going to get into my loop around the league. Going to do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to go through every game that has been played. I'm going to check in on each division, and I can tell you which teams can just kiss this season goodbye. And I'm also going to tell you what to watch for moving forward. Starting with the AFC East, the Bills have taken care of business, while the Jets and Dolphins, not so much. I'm not counting out the Jets quite yet, but man, this has been a bad look since firing Saleh, going 0-2. The Patriots, 2 late drives led by Jacoby Brissett. They get the win. Meanwhile, the last-second field goal by the Cardinals sends the Dolphins packing into his return. Bottom line is the Bills own this division. Not counting out the 2-5 Dolphins just yet, and as I said, the Jets at 2-6, probably done, but they have the roster to go on a little run and maybe sneak in for a wild card spot. Probably not, but not ruling them out quite yet. The Patriots, however, are done. I think we can all agree on that. What to watch for: Week 11 Chiefs at Bills. Probably more meaningful for the Bills. They're trying to lock in on the 2 seed. If they have any shot at the 1 seed, they're going to need to win this game. Chiefs still undefeated. AFC South, the Texans beat the Colts to take control at 6-2. They've beaten the Colts twice already. Similar situation to what we have in the NFC South. We'll talk about them in a second. The Colts are 4-4 and still in the hunt. I'm going to say the Jags and the Titans are both done. The Jags let that win over the Packers slip away, and that pretty much ended their season, in my opinion. What to watch for moving forward? Well, that Week 10 game, the Lions at the Texans, will be must-watch TV, but the Week 16 game, Texans at Kansas City, which could very well be a playoff preview, even a potential AFC Championship game preview. In the AFC North, the Ravens really slipped up losing to the Browns. They've now lost to the Raiders and the Browns. Really doing the Steelers a favor there. The Bengals lost big at home to the Eagles, so they're 3-4, certainly not done. But the Browns, yes, the Cleveland Browns, they are done at 2-6. Give them credit for getting a big divisional win over my formerly ranked number 1 team. They won't be there anymore. Really let me down. What to watch for moving forward. Week 11 and 16 games between the Ravens and Steelers. Probably going to come down to that. If either one of them can sweep those 2 games, they will be the divisional champ. They'll probably end up splitting them. That's just the way it works, right? In the AFC West, the Chiefs now 7-0, just cruising along. Not really overly impressive though, but hey, 7-0, not too shabby. The Broncos are 5-3 and the Chargers are 4-3. Chargers have only given up 91 points in 7 games, but their offense has really struggled. One of those teams, Broncos or Chargers, are probably going to earn a wild card playoff spot. My money would be on the Chargers. The 2-6 Raiders are, however, done. What to watch for? Well, the Chargers have already beat the Broncos once, so we have to look forward to that Week 16 game, December 22nd, Broncos at Chargers. Now, there's a bunch of games in between now and then, obviously, and 2 games after that, but I would think if the Chargers can win that one, they will certainly be a couple steps ahead of the Broncos in that wild card chase, because the Chiefs are surely going to end up winning this division. The NFC, we'll start with the East. Something magical going on with the Commanders. Man, they win it on a Hail Mary to improve to 6-2. And Tyreek Stevenson, man, I don't know if I should feel bad for him or, hey, you know what? You made your own bet there, taunting the fans, and continued to taunt the fans after the play started. And that was on the Hail Mary, and he was in that scrum and looked like he was the one that actually tipped the ball to the Commander in the end zone. He's going to have a little talking to, I think. The Eagles won that game at Cincinnati really impressively. They're at 5-2 now. And the Cowboys, they have no run game, period. And, it's impressive that they were able to hang with the 49ers, sort of anyways. But they are in a little bit of trouble, I think. The New York Giants are, in fact, done. What to watch for? Commanders and Eagles, they have 2 games left, weeks 11 and 16. Those are going to be a lot of fun. Jaden Daniels versus Jalen Hurts. I'll be watching. NFC North, well, the Lions are the class of the conference right now at 6-1. Put up a 52 spot on the Titans. And the Titans, they've been sulling out a little bit and, probably a little bit demoralized. So not really a surprise, but still an impressive win. The Packers rallied for a late win behind Malik Willis. Jordan Love banged up again, a groin injury. Don't think he'll be out too long. So they improved to 6-2. And the Vikings, losers of 2 straight, dropped to 5-2. And the Bears, man, that is a really painful loss, dropping to 4-3 on a Hail Mary. And, you know how badly we feel when the Rams lose a close game. Really haven't had too many of those this year. We're really banging our head against the wall because the team just has played very poorly in some outings. Not any super painful losses. Maybe that opener in overtime, but this one, Bears fans have to be hurting. Man, I can't even imagine it. And in that division, as stacked as it is right now, a really damaging loss for the Bears. What to watch for moving forward? Well, let's look at their next 3 games. The Lions get the Packers, Texans, and Jags. They have only played 1 divisional game. They beat the Vikings. The Vikings get the Colts, Jags, and Titans. They are 1-1 in the division. And the Packers get the Lions, Bears, and 49ers. And they have 1 divisional game played so far. They lost to the Vikings. And the Bears get the Cardinals, Patriots, and Packers. Bears have not played a single divisional game, and that's actually a good thing for them because they are in last place, even though they've played really well over the last 4 weeks. So we really just got to watch all these divisional games left to play in a really tight and talented division. The NFC South, we predicted, well, everybody predicted the Falcons are going to win that division based on the talent they have there with a new quarterback as well, and based on their schedule. But now, having beaten the wounded Bucs twice, and with what's happened to the Saints, it might be a foregone conclusion right now. They're going to win this division. They are 5-3. Bucs have played them tough, but dropped to 4-4. Falcons have beat the Bucs twice, by the way. And the Saints and Panthers, yes, they are both done. What to watch for? Well, the Falcons are going to win that division. What I want to know is, do they have a realistic shot at getting to the Super Bowl? They're 5-3, but 2 wins over the Bucs, 1 on a last-second field goal, another with the Bucs a little bit depleted there, especially at wide receiver. And then they've beaten the Saints and Panthers. 2 of the teams that I just said are already done. Their one quality win is over the Eagles. They have 2 significant games left at Minnesota and at Washington. What those 2 games are going to tell us is just how playoff ready the Falcons are and how they might stack up against other divisional winners and wild card teams. And then there's the NFC West. Man, if you look at the records, you think it's not a very strong division. It's actually probably average. Just teams that are spinning their wheels, very inconsistent. The Cardinals at 4-4, the 49ers and Seahawks both 4-4, and the Rams at 3-4. Coming up for the Cardinals, the Bears, Jets, and Seahawks. The Jets game, they're going to go back across the country. The 49ers are at Tampa Bay, and then Seattle, and then at Green Bay. And the Seahawks get 3 divisional games in a row. The Rams, and then at San Francisco, and then back home to play the Cardinals. The Rams get this road game at Seattle. Then they get the Dolphins at home on Monday night, and then across the country to play New England. What to watch for? Well, those 3 straight games the Seahawks have in the division going to be really important. But a side note here, 49ers are on a bye, right? If the Rams beat the Seahawks, improving to 4-4, Seahawks drop to 4-5, and the Bears take care of the Cardinals, Cardinals drop to 4-5. So the 2 teams at the top would be the Rams and 49ers at 4-4. The Rams win that head-to-head tiebreaker. And who is your new first place team in the NFC West? Come next Monday morning, the Los Angeles Rams. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.